Ready?
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, everybody. The talented Joe Kerner. Take it away.
All right. I thought it only appropriate, as we only survived the barn flip with some silver bullets, that my lovely assistants will now pass out silver bullets to anyone who would like to partake in a drink during this.
Did you sell it?
Silly. We did. We'll see if we made any money here in a second. So my name is Joe, and I am Nick's business partner for the last 6 years. I help run the REI team, and I have 12 rentals now, and so I wanted to give a brief history of how I got there, my non-Grant Cardone slow way of doing it, and hopefully it'll inspire somebody, but and then how I flip houses also along the way. So we'll get to the barn at the end. So background, I'm from Wisconsin, but I get around, okay? So born and raised in Wisconsin, went to UW-Madison, and then joined the military. Was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and then I got married, so then I was a military wife and traveled around to Georgia, Alabama, Kansas, Roatan, Honduras, back to Wisconsin for a hot minute, then Hawaii, and then to the greatest state after Wisconsin, Idaho. And so all along the way, especially since North Carolina, when I was pregnant with my now daughter who's 17, I became obsessed with HGTV. And I remember when I got my license, people are like, just because you like HGTV doesn't mean you're gonna make it in real estate. And I was like, yeah, it does. So if you love HGTV as much as I do, you can be successful. But every time we would move, I would always be on Realtor.com, on Zillow, looking for a fixer-upper or something to move into that we could add equity, because I knew we'd be moving out again. So one of, just my slow way, make your primary residence your future best investment property. That's always been my mindset. I know Grant Cardone says don't buy a primary residence, it's a waste of money, but it could be a very lucrative asset in my opinion. So there, Grant. So this is one of the first things that first flips I did in Alabama, Enterprise, Alabama. That's where Fort Rucker is. This is in 08. I don't remember. I'm not a news person. I didn't even know the market was in a recession or anything. I just knew I liked making ugly things pretty, and I saw this and I was like, oh, I could do this to the fireplace, and I could do this, and it had a pool in the back because it's Alabama. So we bought it for about 170 grand, and you did some sweat equity, and there's my daughter who's now 17. That's little Sydney. So yeah, so then we lived in Alabama for almost 2 years, and this is where I just want to open up to discussion. Do you think, well, first off, what's the difference between a live-in flip and a buy and hold?
Taxes.
There's tax differences for sure, yeah. So if you live in the property for at least 2 out of 5 years as your primary residence, you can sell it and not have to pay any taxes on it, right? So that's a reason to consider just going ahead and selling it versus keeping it. Any other reasons you might keep that house? Yes.
I was busy talking to him, Matt, over there, so I wasn't paying attention. So forgive me if I sound like an idiot, but
no.
You're not getting rent from it, are you?
No, I was living in it, so I bought it to live in, and I fixed it up while I lived there.
Yeah, so you're not getting any income from it. You're
Right.
living there.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So technically, it is a liability when you're living there, right? But if you're looking at the future and what you're going to do with it, I like to consider it's an asset a little bit. So.
Yeah, I guess that's the difference.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yes.
Might be cheaper to live in your own home than to actually rent one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. At the time, I think interest rates were about 6%, 5-6%, somewhere in there. Yeah. Right before the crash.
Your no docs were 6. Yeah, they were. No docs were 6%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big difference in the financing compared to buying investment property if you're going to buy and hold.
Yeah, exactly. And once you move out, you can just leave that loan in place and not have to, have the investment interest rate. And then it's another reason to keep something you lived in. Yep.
Or buy and hold, you get depreciation on the property, so your taxes are still different, but you can claim your taxes on your live-in, but your buy and hold, you get depreciation.
Yep, there's definitely a different tax savings if it's an actual investment with renters in it and the depreciation and all that comes with that. Yes.
I did 2 of these, not by design, on accident.
Yeah.
The last couple of years. And since we lived in them for about 6 months, we made them really adorable and furnished them. And they were just this wonderful place to live. So now I rent them as furnished rentals.
Yeah.
And people, like, everyone wants to buy it because it was our home and there was, like, love in it. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
That is very cool. And overall, especially in this area, I would highly recommend keeping them. This one I didn't. Oh, sorry to get ahead of myself. So that one I sold. We sold it for like $225. So remember, I bought it for $170. We probably put like 15, 20 grand in. Sold it for $225. And then I just looked up on the Zestimate, which I know is not 100% accurate, but I'm not access to the MLS there. How much do you think that house is worth today? I know nobody really knows rural Alabama. $450. $450? $245. It didn't appreciate at all. So I was like, yeah, I'm glad I sold that one. So Southern Alabama might not be the best market to invest in. Anyway, yeah, so it's another reason. Know your market, believe in what's going to appreciate, and you can probably do a little better. Okay, and then I'm not talking about every house I ever bought, but I just wanted to highlight a few of them. This one I still have today. It's my longest buy and hold rental. I bought in 2013. It was also a foreclosure. They had some beautiful colors, and we fixed it up and made it look nice and homey, and I still have it to this day. The dog died. No, I'm sorry. Indy died. But he's a beautiful dog. And I just wanted to deep dive into this one a little bit because the numbers weren't great until they were. So we bought it at the very beginning of 2013. It was a foreclosure listed for $289. We actually got it for $219, and the payment, the PITI, was $1,350. From about 2013 to 2018, rent was $1,600. We self-managed. My poor, beautiful mother had to help out because we were traveling all over. And then after, we had to do a lot of repairs, so we barely cash flowed on this house. We jumped the rent once the tenants moved out in 2018 to $1,950, so then we're cash flowing a little better. 2019-20 was a big year for me, so I got divorced. I did a cash out refinance, and my tenant committed suicide in the house. So that was a challenge. This was a really sad situation. So the wife, who was the widow, was like legitimately crazy, and she wouldn't pay rent and she wouldn't move out. And I tried to work with her, but after a few months, I had to evict her, and I felt terrible doing it. But I got her out, and then. I did a cash out refi in the meantime, and I pulled $100 grand out. So my payment went to $1,750. I actually tried to sell it for a couple months, and it wasn't really moving. And I finally found a management company, and they get $2,500 a month for rent on it now. So today the home is worth $450. The mortgage balance is $304. That's after I pulled $100 grand out. And so I cash flow about $500 a month. So long term, was this a good idea to keep this one? Yeah, I think so too. Plus it's Wisconsin. It's a tax write-off every time I go home. Yeah. Okay, so then after all our traveling in the military and everything, we moved to Idaho. Time to get serious. I got my license. I met Nick. He motivated me. I was motivated too. Where is Nick? Oh, there. Drinking the beer in the back. So I have a couple other live-in flips. The one on the far left, that's in Rathdrum. We lived in it. We finished the basement while we were building that one below. I bought that house in the middle. I've talked about it. It's my Airbnb up in Sagal on Bottle Bay Road. That was 10% down, a second home. That's my Wisconsin rental I just showed you. And then I bought a traditional new construction Viking home in Rathdrum. So I was on my way. It's time to get serious and divorced. I lost 2 in the divorce, but I still had the others. And then it's like, now what? So I put 2 more under contract. The one on the left is in Coeur d'Alene Place as my primary residence. And with the commissions I was making in real estate, I wanted to put another 15 to 20% down on a rental, kind of traditional in that Rathdrum neighborhood. So I was super excited. Until the lender said no at the last minute. Not Mark, a different lender. And
I've never seen no at the last minute.
yeah, right.
So early.
So those were both new construction. So there's a lot of time to like think, oh, I'm good. And then they're like, oh, you showed too big of a loss on your Wisconsin rental on your taxes, and now you don't qualify. So I was not happy, but there's always a way. So you just got to swallow your pride and go get seconds. I called a million different lenders. I didn't know Mark, sorry. I cried a lot on our office floor. That's what we do here at Keller Williams. And then I finally swallowed my pride and asked my mom to co-sign. I didn't want to do that as a 40-year-old independent woman, but she loves me. And today, those 2 houses probably have 600 grand of equity. And if she needed anything, I would sell them in a heartbeat and help her, and she doesn't have to do anything. And so just don't be afraid to ask. I mean, Tyler has co-signed with friends. Like, there's always people and resources that, you know, I think if you've got a good deal and a good opportunity, just find a way, because it's so much better if you do.
I'll call you, Tyler.
Just call Tyler. He'll partner with anyway. Just kidding. I'm kidding. So 6 months later, I see a new opportunity hit the MLS in Coeur d'Alene Place. The pictures look kind of nice, but it was pretty trash. The tenant had been in there for 15 years. And I live a little bit like Buddy the Elf. I just like to move. Moving's my favorite. And I just know it's a really smart way to build your portfolio because you can keep the last one you're in. So I put a lot of sweat equity into that one and made it my new primary residence. That one just 2 years ago was $330,000 in Coeur d'Alene Place. With the basement, it's 2,600 square feet. The mortgage, I did a burr kind of with it. I did a cash out refi. My payment was $1,800. That thing rents for $3,200. Wow. If anybody wants to start this, find a deal in Coeur d'Alene Place or find something you can add some equity to there. I swear that neighborhood is just, everybody wants it, right? So then my next couple deals, this is the power of this network, guys. You just got to hang out with the right people. So Nick has a very hard and fast rule called the 70% rule. Some of you know, if you can't get a house for 70% of its value, then he's not going to take it. And I'm like, I'll take it. Can I have some more, please? So I got 2 more projects, one in Hayden and one by Home Depot. And I do kind of the same thing every time. And I'm about to share, get your pencil out. My kitchen person, my flooring person, my painter, and J-Dog are all Chuck Norris approved, the best in the business. Just get a system down and use the same people, and that makes it a lot easier to run your numbers. So J-Dog is amazing. Gene with Northwest Kitchen and Granite and More, I think, is out of Spokane.
Northwest Granite and Northwest.
Okay, sorry, I spelled that wrong. But Gene is amazing. He'll come give you a quote on anything. And then I got some flooring hipsters, Shane and Dale, that helped us with the barn project coming up too. They're amazing. They worked for Great Floors, and now they have a little own side business. And Scott's my painter. He can do cabinets. He can do anything really too. He's a talker, so as long as you like talking, he's a great guy.
Hold on.
Sorry. Any questions so far? Yes.
Are you using VA loans on any of these?
Some of them, yep. I used my VA loan a couple times. Yeah. And the rest were either conventional, and I'm going to break down how I did each one, or a little bit. See in a second. Okay, then I met somebody, and I said, you're cute, you want to partner with me? And so then I bought another primary residence in Coeur d'Alene Place after a year. I tried to stay in my houses for a year, try to do everything on the straight and narrow with loans and whatnot. And that one we did use the VA. What's that?
I won't tell you.
You won't tell. Okay, yeah. As long as your intention is to live in it and you actually live in it, and then if some new opportunity comes up, you move out, I think you're pretty safe.
Correct.
Then we found a long-term rental opportunity in Post Falls and a short-term rental on Front Street in Coeur d'Alene. So I bought 3 houses this last year. And you can see 2 of them are on the MLS. And I think in the next slide, I break down where they came from. So 8 of my deals actually came from the MLS. When people are like, oh, I can't get in the game because there's nothing on the market. There's still, that Front Street house was sitting there from like July through September. Nobody was touching it. And I don't know why. I mean, there was a little bit of foundation issue, but we paid affordable restoration to fix that. And I think it's going to make a really great short-term rental. So keep looking. Keep working with the agents on this team who are constantly looking. And you can still find deals on the market. And, of course, off the market, too. So 8 were on the MLS. 4 were from wholesalers. 5 of these were my primary residence, where I either used the VA loan 0 or did a conventional loan of 5% down. One was the secondary home in Bottle Bay that I put 10% down. 2 were straight up investments where you can still do an investment, as far as I know, for 15% down. Your rate's not going to be great, but you can do it. And then 2 were BRRRRs, which were the best deals of all because I used hard money, did a cash out refinance, and it's like having a free house when you get all your money back. And now, since I met that golden 10 rule with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, I, like a portfolio lender, Freedom Northwest Credit did loan me money on 2 deals. Any questions? No? More beer? Anybody? More silver bullets? No?
What's the golden 10 rule you said?
The what? The golden 10 rule. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac are government-backed loans, and you can only have 10 other on what? Financed properties, and then they say no more. And so then you got to figure out what to do. You can pay cash, you can find a portfolio lender, or there's a lot of different other options. But you won't get quite as good of that beautiful 30-year fixed rate interest.
What are the terms that you're getting?
For the portfolio lender? Yeah. It's some are 5 years, some are 10 and like 5.99. So the goal is to refinance out of those at some point too. Now that I have somebody that, you know, could get 10 more.
I'm sorry, is that 10 at the same time or 10 in your life?
Same time.
Same time.
Same time.
Same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I've done before sometimes, if somebody has multiple loans and they have a lot of equity in one of them, we'll refinance and pay off 1 or 2 homes.
Yep.
Put a larger loan on one that has better cash flow, or if it's their primary, and then that frees them up for 1 or 2 more financing projects.
Yep. Was there another question?
Do you have to pay PMI on the ones you put less than 20%?
Yeah, some of them. No, as long as the numbers make sense, it doesn't bother me at all. That's just like in a deal from a wholesaler too. They might make 50 grand. I don't care if the numbers still make sense. You just can't get that too concerned with the little, in my opinion, details if your end goal works, you know? Yeah.
And depending on what kind of property, you can also do it 80% first loan and 10% second, or 75% first loan and a 15% second, and then you don't pay PMI. As long as, if your first loan is higher than 80%, then you pay PMI. So you just break it up into a first and second combo. Yeah.
All right, who's ready for the legend of the Barndominium? I've been talking about this since 1984. Maybe not that long. Okay, so I'll give you a little history. First off, before I forget, I could not have done this without some key people who I will mention, but I'm so grateful for this team and for the people in this room that helped me. Aww. Okay, so I get a call from a wholesaler, Michael DeHaan. He's out of Spokane. Great guy. You should get to know him. He's not here. And he's like, hey, I came across this property in Athol. And I kind of talked to Nick briefly about it. He's like, yeah, I could have bought that for $2 back in like 2007. It's a piece of crap. Don't do it. So I'm like,
and I passed on it.
he passed on it. It was $150,000. He passed on it like in 2015, probably with Sean.
Yeah, 2013 or 14.
Okay. So I didn't give it much thought. I sent him comps and I said, good day. I do not want it. But he was like, hey, could you ask around? So I did. I went to these REIs and I was like, if anybody wants to flip a barn up in Athol, I got this deal. I'm just trying to help out a wholesaler. Nobody really followed up with me. And then he called again and he's like, can you just go out and take a few pictures for me? And I was like, sure, no problem. And that is another lesson. The more I do things where I'm like really not expecting anything in return, just trying to help somebody out, the more things come back to you. So just always keep that in mind. So I went out and took some pictures as a favor, and I fell in love. It was the smell of money. It was so, it was so disgusting. That's Dennis in the third picture there. He was brave enough to walk over to the worst cat peeing smelling place.
Yeah, that was cat pee you could move with a putty knife.
I'm just gonna.
Just to give you some visuals there.
So I'm going to quickly just scan through these pictures just to give you a taste of what the whole property looked like. So it was on 5 acres, and it was overgrown. Roy had lived there. He bought it as a bank-owned property, and he was going to fix it up, right? Big plans. He really got far. And so it was, you know, well lived in. There were dogs all over the place. He was very proud of these stair spindles that he put up. But it had some really good bones. It had geothermal heat, which I don't know much about, but I hear is really everybody likes. So that was neat. That was the bathroom. I mean, there's just dog hair everywhere. Some clear repairs. There I am taking a picture. And he's just a, just a messy guy.
In the back of that picture.
Oh, yeah, there's a nice calendar there.
Oh, jeez.
So just a lot of junk, overgrown stuff, there's some of his stair spindles there. He was very proud of this little kitchenette on the second floor. That's a sex swing right there. This deck was about falling off, this little catwalk deck. These are the spindles. He was very proud that he put in those wooden spindles on the staircase. J-Dog, do you remember the smell in there? You weren't there, but you were there. Yeah. Nice walk-in shower. Yeah. So it was 2,600 square feet. It was technically, according to the county, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but there was a huge loft space. We didn't really know how we were going to reconfigure it. Thanks to Tyler's vision, we did reconfigure, open up some walls and enclose some spaces to make it a more functional living space. This is the top level. It did have a toilet in the middle of the room, which was interesting. Yeah, so who would take that on? Who wants it? Yeah? Well, where were you back 7 months ago? Okay, so the pros were, it had geothermal heating system, a huge shop, 5 fenced acres, a newish roof already, the windows, and had like modern, I'm not saying the electric was good, I'm just saying it was updated, it wasn't knob and tube or anything. It is the modern electric and plumbing, and the location, it was right near Silverwood, right near the highway, in between Sandpoint and Coeur d'Alene. Since I got in the business, everybody asked me for 5 acres in Athol, right? So I was like, there's gotta be a demand for this. The cons were the layout was all chopped up and crazy. The siding, we had a nice debate about whether to replace it or paint it. The stairs were all crazy and needed to be dealt with. The electric was crazy when she especially got into it. And there's junk, and more junk. Thanks, J-Dog. So the first step is assemble the team. Okay, so my first calls were to Dennis and Tyler. Dennis, it's easy, zip, heavey. He's got the best, sound effects as he works. If you ever need him, it's amazing. And he's got the best attitude, thinks everything's easy. Tyler, I don't mean to downgrade this. We need a dumpster, Wagner. Because working on another project up at Bonners Ferry, and they were like, we need a dumpster every day. And if Tyler was there, we would have a dumpster. So he was our dumpster man. Joey, honey, boop. That's what Dennis calls him. That's not what I said. So Joey, I met. I started dating right when I got this project. So he was a weekend warrior with us until I sweet-talked him into quitting his job and going on full-time. And then me. And I would say it's the last nice day every day to get them to work outside on stuff. It's going to snow. It's the last nice day. Get the outside done. So that was the team. So it was technically a joint venture between me, Tyler, and Dennis. But I was really taking most of the risk because I got a loan, a portfolio loan. I put $100,000 down. So I didn't use hard money because I was trying to save some fees there. And I fronted all the rehab cost. And I just conned these poor suckers into their time and energy and cannot thank them enough for being a part of it. So, the optimism. You can sense my optimism versus theirs in this video, so I had to show it.
You should ask what people think that
We need a photo for,
Yeah.
I will.
Oh, okay.
we need a photo for,
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta take photos too. But first, we are at 6820 East Forest View Road with Tyler and Dennis, who said, hell yeah, I want to do this project in Athol. Right, guys?
Yes, ma'am. It was the opium from the poppies out front.
Yeah.
There's actually one growing right here too, look.
It's crawling through there. There you go. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
So what are your biggest concerns? This is the before. This isn't even day one. We haven't bought it. What's your prediction?
We're probably going to lose 10 pounds on this project because we have a lot of work to do. And we're going to see if we can jack this site up with just a regular car jack. And we'll leave it under the house for the next guy.
Can we hire some felons to come help us? We're gonna need lots of help.
All right, so I like to think there's a fine line between optimism and delusion, and I cross it often. Okay, clearly I was a little bit more optimistic, maybe a little unrealistic about how easy this was going to go compared to my cohorts there. Okay, so this is on our website, a little spreadsheet if you want to break down the numbers. So we bought it for $515,000. Is Tyler still here? Tyler Riggs inspected it. There he is. Shout out to Tyler. Amazing inspector. Yeah, so the lender fees and costs up front were pretty minimal because I put 20% down. And I thought we were going to sell it for $799,000. And with lender fees and all of our costs, I thought we'd spend, well, that's on the next slide. Basically, I just want to highlight right here at the top where I say demo dump fees, $0. Clearly, I learned some lessons. I think we spent 10 grand at least. So just FYI, it's a learning experience. But if anybody wants to look at this in more detail, they're welcome. So basically, my prediction is I thought it was going to sell for $799. It's going to take 3 or 4 months. It's easy. Zip, zip. And my budget was $63,000-ish, and I thought each of the 3 main partners were going to make 60 grand. Who thinks I was right? Nope. Nobody thinks
Well,
this worked out?
right on the project length.
Hey, you were part of it. You don't get to answer.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in? No?
Aren't you implying that you're wrong?
I think you.
Smart one.
She's drinking.
I'm drinking. Yeah.
It took longer, but made a little more.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if Rob's right.
I think the budget was off.
So I have some during pictures. Then one of the first things we did was put a little porch on the front. Dennis looking happy in the 100-degree summer. If anybody remembers the heat wave we had last summer, that was fun, especially when he's painting it. I won the battle of reciting the whole thing versus painting.
Repainting rather than siding.
Yeah, I wanted to paint. You guys wanted to recite it.
Yeah.
Which way did you go?
We painted
We
it.
painted 195 gallons of primer.
Yeah, cedar, and it's till this day, the cedar is bleeding through to this day. We used the best rod I had, but this is tough. There's Tyler in his dumpster, okay? Jeremy, we had so many people help. I mean, Sam was my therapist for 6 months. It was great. There's my Joey throwing a toilet off the deck. Okay, he's strong, right? I used at least 10. Okay, so I tried every primer on the subfloor to get rid of cat pee, and the only thing that kind of works is this Zinsser odor killing primer. So I recommend that if anybody needs it. You got to use a couple coats, but
Better than Kills?
way better than Kill. I use like literally every brand, every kind of Kills, every kind of other thing, and this was the only thing I could find that kind of works. It's called Odor Killing Primer from Zinsser, specifically the yellow bucket.
If it looks like pee, it's good to go.
We did have to change some subflooring though that,
Yeah, that was just too far gone.
yeah, you couldn't.
This was fun. So Tyler, great idea. The living room was super small. He's like, let's lose a bedroom there. And we made one upstairs. And let's tear out this wall. There's a fun cross beam with hay, because it was a barn literally, that Dennis had to turn into a structural engineer to figure out. But that's why I'm so lucky, is I work with the most resourceful people. He's on YouTube nonstop trying to figure it out. And so if you need a structural engineer, he figured it out.
I made sure everyone was gone that day.
There's also things I don't know about the barn because I had to fill out the PCR, so he figured it out. He's very happy in that. No, we had a lot of fun. That's the kitchen halfway through. It had a little step up we had to rip out. Dennis said it was going to be easy, and it looks really easy. He's working hard. He wired some stuff for us in that room, too. Get the subfloor down. Look at you, going to town. That was the bathroom. Jeremy helped us out. He was my tiling assistant one day. So that was amazing. Nick came. If you know Fixer Upper of Chip and Joanna Gaines, we were Chuck and JoJo that day, and Nick spent the whole day and installed 2 lights. They were high up on ladders, yeah. So,
How'd you get him to work so hard?
finished project. Okay, so now for your entertainment viewing, I want you to know we really are professional agents. Don't judge us too much on this video, but we had a little fun at the end. If anybody knows Schitt's Creek, did I pronounce that right? Yeah. Schitt's Creek. I'm trying to channel Catherine O'Hara's fake overacting voice, so forgive my silliness, forgive Nick's legs. Let's take a look at this final product. In the valley, halfway between Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint, Idaho,
lies a magical place named Athol, Idaho.
that features an equestrian's dream on 5 acres and a house that once was a barn. Some call it a barndominium.
Well, you can bring your horses and experience all of North Idaho has to offer.
Hi, I'm Joe Turner with North Idaho REI team, Keller Williams, Coeur d'Alene, and Sandpoint.
And I'm the Tyler Wagner with the North Idaho REI team of Keller Williams, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint.
Come, let's explore this prestigious home, meticulously renovated to today's modern standards. Come explore. You want to kick it down? Whoa!
Come, let's take a tour of this magical enclave.
Yes, here's the Barndominium's beautiful grand living room. Well, look at that. We have a special guest.
Hey, Nick.
Hi there.
What are you up to?
Just getting ready for the day.
We're giving a tour of this beautiful Barndominium. Fresh with a wood-burning stove to warm your baby-oiled legs on a cold winter's day. When it's time to bathe, we have a beautiful first-level bathroom right this way. Come right into your modern farmhouse kitchen.
Wow.
Where there's plenty of room for dancing and cooking. I hear people do that.
Talk about backsplash. That's amazing.
All right, the second floor has another living area and 3 bedrooms, one perfect for an office.
You know, Joe, I really dig these cable wire railings here.
You'll be sure to bathe and shower in privacy on the second level modern master suite. Welcome to the master suite, which features a little bit of a surprise, a second level deck to enjoy your mornings and evenings.
Oh, hi there. You caught me working on my skin tightening regimen. Pro tip for you, you don't need those expensive serums or lotions. You just need cold mountain fresh air here in North Idaho. Decks aren't just for summer. Cheers.
Well, what's this?
Shall we go up
It's
to the next
third
flight?
level. And look at this beautiful 3rd story loft space.
I can see downtown Athol from here.
And what's this? It appears to be a catwalk and Nick beverage. Thanks for the catwalk, Nick. Now back to the regular tour. In addition to the beautiful Barndominium, you have the most amazing shop with a woodworking section and a regular shop section.
After a long day of riding your horses throughout your 5 acres, you're going to need a shop to relax in. Come let us look.
Explore.
It might even come with a cowboy of some sort. We hope you enjoyed this tour of the lovely Barndominium in Apple, Idaho. If you need help with this barn, or any barn of any sort in all of Idaho, you know who to call, the North Idaho REI team.
It's a simple flight into Spokane. It's right next to the largest body of water in North Idaho, Lake Pendriel. Lake Pendriel.
It's French.
Lake Pendriel. Lake Pindial. Ponderalio.
French for earlobe, I
Lake
believe.
Pendriel. Oh. Oh, thank you. Jeremy Kitchen, everybody. Our editor extraordinaire. So we don't have any fun on these projects, as you can tell. Please don't judge us for that video. But what do you guys think? How'd it turn out? Yeah.
How did you come up with the name? Because I thought it might be like a duplex or a fourplex when you said the ominium at the end.
Oh, if you watch Fixer Upper, it's a HGTV show, and that's what Joanna Gaines flipped a barn, and she called it the Barndominium, so I just stole it from her. It's like a barn meets a condominium, I think, is more of her thinking, maybe? I don't know. Yes?
So, I'm used to like permitting and everything else in California. What's permitting like up?
What's permitting like, guys?
Oh, okay. What's a permit?
No, we really didn't do anything. We didn't add a room. We didn't add a bathroom. We didn't.
Took them out.
No, it really, as much as this seems way more than cosmetic, it was mostly cosmetic, so we didn't feel the need to pull a permit. Why are you laughing?
Required like for to resell and stuff, or I don't know.
Good question.
That's a good question. We sold.
Like that when we bought it.
So how did it turn out? Oh, go ahead. Do you want to see the numbers?
You know, Idaho law is buyer beware state, so you gotta have your inspection and do your due diligence and make sure you have what you want. But the seller legally can say almost anything they want, and whether it's true or not, it's the buyer to figure out.
Got it. I don't recall is the best.
I don't recall. Fifth Amendment.
In the valley.
Oh, we don't want to watch that again. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Actual outcome. We sold it for $900,000. Plus a $4,000 credit to the buyer. And the project actually took 6 months, 17 days, closed on Nick's birthday, my daughter's birthday, February 17th. We spent $98,000, a little off there, I thought 63. And each of the 3 main partners made $80,000. So it's like childbirth. Extremely painful during sometimes, but now we are so happy. Right? Right, guys? We're still friends, right?
No, we have fun every day.
Yeah.
When did you sell it?
February 17th it closed. We had it listed since December 18th about, so we had,
Talking last month.
yeah, just like a week or two ago, Tammy Culp walked me home with it at Title I, best in the business, with Bill.
Our only subcontractor was great.
I think, is that the last slide? Oh. Any other questions on the barn?
Would you do it again?
Yeah, I'm already looking at another one. Yeah, I probably would. I'm a sucker for punishment.
So what did you learn?
That's a great question. So my key takeaways. Okay, she who hesitates or he who hesitates
Is lost.
doesn't have as much fun. No, but you guys are on Bigger Pockets, come to these meetings. Eventually, man, you just got to go for it. Even if some people might think that's not the best idea, if you believe in it and you want to do it, the worst case scenario is you're going to learn a lot. So don't be afraid to just jump on something. And you definitely are the people you surround yourself with. I cannot thank Dennis, Tyler, Joey, Sam, Jeremy, Nick, anybody I forgot. I mean, it takes a whole village, right, to be involved in your business sometimes. And I'm so lucky. And don't be afraid to ask for help. But try to bring them value back too. Like try to make win-win situations. And but a lot of people just don't want to do it, or they back out because they don't want to ask for help. But just do it. The worst people can say is no. And being resourceful is so key. There's so many problems that come up. A weird crossbeam with hay in it. I don't know what to do with it, but you just got to figure it out and just have to have that attitude. You got to feed your mind constantly. Come to these things. Listen to Bigger Pockets. And like, I don't know, I just think the more you can have the right mindset, the better this will go in whatever direction you're going with investing. And coming from abundance is also key. Also, have fun and stay hydrated, all right? Coors Light, well, that's Spotted Cow. We brought that all the way back from Wisconsin, so that definitely helped one day. But any other questions? Yes.
So they were obviously partners with you, right? In the
Yeah.
project. And you guys knew how to do all this stuff, right? You did it yourself. You did your own sweat equity because you're going to get it back. On a project like this, if somebody didn't have partners, they just needed to hire it out and contract it, do you think something like this is doable?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Nick does it all the time. It definitely takes networking, especially with the shortage of good help, good contractors, but pay them well, and you can, I mean, I probably could have made more money if I just took it on, didn't split the profits with anybody, and paid people. I would have been way more stressed out. I would have really struggled. Yeah, it would have taken way longer. So at the end of the day, I think have partners, with projects like that people that know what they're doing, and it's just easier for your mental health too, I think. Yeah.
How long did it take to sell once it hit the market?
It hit the market like December 18th. It closed February 17th, so total 60 days.
How long was it until you got an offer?
It was a few weeks. It was like 3 to 4 weeks, 3 weeks. And we also got 2 offers at the same time, right? That's how that always works.
It also had high, like for that price point, I feel like it had really decent activity. Normally something like that might sit for a while, but it had people coming in for open houses really regularly.
In the winter time too is kind of tough.
Yeah, the timing wasn't ideal.
Really awesome activity for a
Other
price
agents
point.
steering it really well.
Yeah. I think honestly, you sharing your story, doing that Facebook Lives and things like that, like as soon as it was done, people were ready to see it, just for fun, So, yeah, I think that helped.
Like I said, I like taking on properties that have a few charming things about it. The fact that the location was great, it was a barndominium, it had a big shop. I mean, I've come across other opportunities, but there's nothing really special about it. It's not as intriguing to me. So,
Did a local person buy it?
No, well, from South Carolina though, not California. South Carolina.
Did you know the offers that you got, they were more intrigued by the property itself or by the fact that it had land or acreage or what? What do you know?
I'm not 100% sure why the people that bought it, Tammy just leave, she did the closing with them, she might know. But the other people were going to turn it into a vineyard, a wedding venue. But they want to do all the soil testing and stuff. I was like, that's weird in the winter, go away. No, just kidding. I would have taken their offer, but then a better offer came on, so.
Were there any tricks to the financing since it was originally a barn?
Not really, because I was using a portfolio lender, Freedom Northwest. They don't, it was amazing. And I'm all for traditional lending and getting that low fixed rate 30-year note. But if you can't and you got to go portfolio lender, I literally gave them my file and then they're like, go sign. I was like, what? You don't want 500 more things? Like they were super easy, so. Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious, what else do you have in that portfolio? Just other assets with good equity?
With my...
Portfolio lending generally means you have multiple properties within that.
Oh, they are a portfolio lender, meaning they keep all the loans in-house. They don't sell them to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. It's not me. I don't have I have some properties, but I'm not like, it's not, they don't look at my whole portfolio. They really just look at the deal and they think, they do desktop appraisals and they're like, all right, are you getting a good deal and your credit score is good? We can fund this. That's really their main criteria there.
And that was what kind of loan that you took out?
It's called portfolio loan. So it was like a 5-year term and 5.99%. It wasn't great, but a lot better than hard money, you know. Anything else? Nicholas?
Want me to come back in?
Thank you, Joe.